Tell me what you're up to and how I can help.
I'm in
Who
the
and
middle of your course.
great.
And so your principles, the reason I'm here, your principles validate my principles, my way of thinking. But I'm
Yeah.
no expert, so I need guidance, which is what brought me here. I'm a cybersecurity consultant. This is my personal brand back here. My name is Phil Turner.
Yeah.
And for many years, my friends have called me the filter or filter, right?
Nice.
So I just said, what the heck, let's run with it. And
Yeah.
so it's recognizable. So is Cerium Cyber. Let me get that up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
CE58 is the atomic symbol for cerium. So we
Ethereum.
use
Okay.
this the play on words in a similar way.
Yeah.
The logo is CE58. All consulting and advisory services. No hardware,
Yeah.
very little software for specialized customers that wanted us to handle the transaction for endpoint protection or for
Yeah.
data recovery,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So I have a good bit of experience, and I've got 20 years before that with
Yeah.
AT&T and Bell South and Comcast,
Yeah.
Windstream, the telecommunications sector, where
Yeah.
we also did sell hardware and software cybersecurity products for a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
So I have a healthy background in the field. I believe I understand your model,
Yeah.
right? And I can completely agree. Your approach is much more streamlined, much more logical. The psychology behind it, right? The reasoning and how you package the products and you
Yeah.
unpackage the products, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, the educational piece of it is teaching people how to protect themselves, but also how to leverage the improved processes that cybersecurity and compliance can provide for them to make
Who's
them
the
more competitive in the marketplace. So it is an educational platform.
who's the ideal customer?
C-level executives, owners, decision makers of small and medium-sized business customers. We're not looking
Yeah.
for Fortune 500 because
Yeah.
this is an underserved market. They don't know what they're doing anyway, right? They need to
Yeah.
be educated.
Yeah.
And that have that are in highly regulated industry, such as financial services, healthcare, insurance are good examples.
Yeah.
And we've had many clients like that. HP1, Healthcare Health Plan One was one of our
Yeah.
clients. They spent $500,000 with us over a 2 or 3 year period as
Yeah.
their chief security officer on retainer. So that
Yeah.
was the recurring revenue model, right,
Yeah.
for them, for that particular client.
Yeah.
And insurance providers are good because we can help them protect all that customer data, right?
So how big are
Because
these companies typically?
say again,
How big are these companies?
10 million and
Yeah.
up annual. That's what we look for. Some of them were 100 million.
Yeah.
Healthcare.com was one of our clients that was 100 million plus, and we helped them get SOC 2 certified and
Yeah.
GDPR compliant to help them go IPO.
So what's the core offering? What are you doing for them?
Following your guidance here to a degree, or
Yeah.
excuse me, hopefully that can validate it.
Yeah.
And that is the course material and coaching.
Yeah. So that's the main offer. It's educational.
Yeah, and the educational piece we'll give a free cybersecurity 101 type of course, right?
Yeah.
We'll get consumers into the community
Yeah.
and then retarget them with other offers.
What's the main offer though? What's the core? Is it consulting? Is it some sort of implementation? Is it
Well,
some sort of audit?
it can be all of that, which is a little bit of where I'm getting stuck because
Right.
we can do it yourself,
Yeah.
do it with you, or
Yeah.
we can do it for you.
Exactly. So let's just say DIY. If you think of any product or service, these are the three categories of components or how value is bundled. So your current thing is you're short of an offer. And one clear, really good offer will change everything for you. So I think that's the first question we should try to answer. And that's what this circle is, which is what is your core offer? And the way I think about this is,
Now, Ani, there are quite a few things that we could bundle into the first educational package
yeah,
that we can give away for free, right?
yeah, we'll get there. So that's going to be the DIY, and then this is the done for you, right? So here's how I think about it. You always want to start with your core offer, right? When I say core offer, this is going to be the bread and butter of what you're selling. Typically, because we want your life and we want the business to get better as you sell more of it, this would need to be something that's more scalable, right? Done for you is not scalable. So if you think about it, the done with you is what gives us scalability, right? And so does the do it yourself.
You mean scaling up to a done for you type of product in the future?
No, what I'm saying is that if I gave you 1,000 customers to do done for you work for, your business is going to break.
Yeah, I follow you. Yeah. I mean,
But we can sell 1,000 courses that are self-study that'll actually make your business better because now you're going to generate a whole bunch of cash and you won't have to do any work.
and more profitable. Yeah.
So done with you is similar, a little less so, but still offers a lot of scalability. Done for you, we don't do it for scalability, we do it for profit. So sometimes because we want to make money, we get opportunistic and we start with the done for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this isn't going to scale, and we're still trading time for money,
Yep.
which means the more clients we get, the more busy we get, and the less time and energy we have to dedicate to getting more clients, right? So we can have this going, the done for you, because maybe it's the easiest to sell and it brings in a good chunk of cash. But we want to use that cash and the time that we have left to create more scalable offerings. Because if we can do that, then we don't have to sell a lot of done for you that takes up time and energy from us.
Yeah.
So the core thing to figure out is what is this middle thing, which is your done with you offering. So it's helpful to not think about this in terms of courses or individual units of education. What is most effective is to think about this in terms of outcome. So what's the outcome that you're getting these people? What's the outcome that they want?
They want to stop worrying, uh, having the anxiety of not having started a program yet, right? The risk
Yeah.
is high. They don't have any peace of mind. It's all emotional and intangible to the
Yeah.
largest degree.
But what's the tangible thing that happens that alleviates that anxiety?
They will, after being educated or during the education process, they become more confident in realizing that there is a solution.
Yeah.
They do have resources that can provide it for them,
Yeah.
and they can succeed at it.
And what is that solution?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I think we're looking at the solution, right?
So take yourself out of the situation. And this is the expert's trap, right? We know too much, and it actually keeps us from being successful in selling a solution in the market because we project our knowledge, our expertise, and our assumptions onto the prospect, right? The prospect is operating from a totally different level of consciousness. So we're going to come at this in a few different ways to really nail this down. But what is the core problem that they are aware of that they're experiencing when they are looking at investing in your solution?
Let me rephrase it. They don't know where to start. They don't understand the
With
real
what?
risk associated with cybersecurity.
Start with what?
Say again?
What do they not know how to start, what to start with?
A cybersecurity program.
So be more specific. What?
Okay. I had a company called District Taco out of Washington area yesterday ask
Yeah.
me for a penetration test.
Okay.
That's not where you don't start with a penetration test. You start with a risk assessment.
Right.
So those are the sort of questions I would be asking him. We have a meeting on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Have you done a risk assessment yet? If he says
Yeah.
no, you shouldn't be doing penetration tests because you're going to fail it.
So why were they looking for a pen test?
Don't know yet. Haven't had the full conversation. That's the question I'll ask them.
I know, but think about, put yourself in their shoes, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience in the industry. Like, what's happening for them when they're like, oh shit, I need to find someone to do penetration testing?
Either they have a mature program and they need to plug someone into that particular component of the program
Yeah.
because it's only one of many,
Yeah.
or they've lost a vendor, or they don't know what they're doing in terms of building the program, and someone told them, likely one of their auditors, their compliance auditors said, you need to do penetration testing. So it's a knee-jerk response. Okay, to satisfy my auditor, I got to do a pen test, right? So there's
Great.
different reasons that could happen.
Okay. So their current state is that they don't have a cybersecurity program, process, protocol, plan,
Typically.
typically, right?
Typically at the 101 level, at the entry
Yeah.
level, yes. I'm going to build another course though for more advanced users that
Yeah.
have started the program that need more help, right?
Who are more ideal clients for you? If you could only sell to one type of client in one type of scenario or situation, who would you pick?
I would pick the more mature organization that understands it. They get it, they want it, and they can make it happen.
Okay, beautiful. So that's who we're gonna go for.
Yeah, okay.
You know why? Because it's your fucking business.
Yeah, yeah.
And you always want to be the one who's picking your clients, which means the way we do that is we define the box or the scenario, and that does the picking for us. So let's go with the mature companies. So mature companies, do they already have a vendor? Or are they already doing stuff? Like what's happening there?
I'll give you a case study. Tampa General Hospital is an enterprise organization.
Yeah.
When we first met them and they asked us to come in and help them with their chief security officer role, they
Yeah.
had 90 projects lined up. They were
Yeah.
way behind, and they were down staffed by 4 people.
Yeah.
They were understaffed, right? So
Yeah.
that's a typical scenario on a larger scale than most, right? Where
Yeah.
they don't have enough competencies, they don't have enough human assets, and they've got a lot of problems.
Okay, so let me ask the question in a different way. Do these people typically have a chief information security officer?
No, they're too
So they
expensive.
don't,
They're too
okay. So what's happening? They have a bunch of what projects, but they don't know how to execute them?
They don't have executive oversight of their cybersecurity and compliance programs, particularly for a hospital, HIPAA and things like that.
Okay. So that's going to be one of your best identifying statements for this market, right? So put a pin on that. Okay, are you blah, blah, blah? You got a bunch of things going on, but you don't have executive oversight, right? That's the core issue.
Yeah.
So let's say they work with you,
What changes for who? For them or for us?
for them, always them.
They will have an asset that can give them the strategic oversight, the executive oversight, strategic planning, even
Yeah.
financial planning, execution, right?
So is it a plan or is it or are you executing on the plan as well for them?
It could be either way. So for example, they could consume 10 to 20 hours a month of hours at $300 an hour, or they could consume 40 to 60 hours a month.
Yeah.
And we run the whole dang program ourselves.
Totally. So that'll be on the done for you side. But if we strip that out, if we just focus on the educational and one layer of support with the educational, what are they getting? Who do they become? Where do they get to? What's their situation now? Are they aware of how to run a cyber program? Are they aware of what to look for? Do you give them a plan? Do they know how to assess and audit? What changes?
Those processes that you just described are handed off to us,
Yeah.
or we're assigned a certain portion of those tasks from
Yeah.
a leadership perspective. And
Yeah.
remember, this is a C-level role. So
Yeah.
we're in the C-suite doing all that planning with the rest of the C-suite.
But this is not scalable, right? We're getting into done for you territory.
Correct.
Is that what you want? And maybe that's okay.
There's two schools of thought there, because at the do-it-yourself side, what happens is, particularly with the entry-level education course that I'm working on,
Yeah.
that's actually pretty much wrapped up. Just need to learn how to define the offer and how to market it.
Yeah.
They will typically see how difficult it is to do this.
Yeah.
And in that presentation, the reason we can do the course for free is
Yeah.
because those are definitely ideal prospects, because they're
Right.
going to say, hey, look, this is great, but how do we
Yeah.
do this? How can we
Perfect.
possibly do this? So they will probably go to the do it with you
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yeah. And so what does the do it with you look like?
I'd say the Tampa General Hospital profile is exactly what it looks like.
So how did that work?
That big.
So you're giving them education, but you're also talking to them a few hours a week and advising them?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
I think what we could do, Ani, is as part of that package, that monthly recurring revenue package, we give
Yeah.
them access to all of our community. We give them access to our course material. We
Yeah.
provide one-on-one coaching options for them if they need it, that sort of thing.
Perfect. So course plus coaching plus community. And then your DIY can probably be either an audit
Yeah.
or audit plus some sort of information.
Yes. Yeah,
And
we're
then
giving away a free assessment, risk assessment, a very high level, right, as part
perfect.
of the package, and access to the entry level education and the
Yeah.
community.
Okay. And then your done for you becomes either execute on the plan or consulting hours.
Yes.
Does
Yep.
that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Long-term contracts too. We were selling 2 and 3 year contracts. We have to be
Yeah.
careful with that because it presents a certain amount of risk from a cost perspective and manpower perspective in this particular industry, right?
So what I would do is just make it a monthly retainer.
No,
I'll share what my philosophy is on this, and that way you can think about what feels good for you. I like to sell the way I like to buy. So I don't like being locked into long-term contracts. So I don't sell that way. So everything I do, it's cancel anytime. No lock-ins.
no termination liabilities, right?
Exactly. And that what that allows for is we keep adding value indefinitely. And if at some point we get to the place where it feels complete, no harm, no foul, we part ways. So what that allows for is it reduces churn because a year after you start with them, maybe there's new stuff that becomes visible and they're like, hey, actually, would you like help with this? Okay, cool. And then 2 years. So that's what allows, I have people who are working with me 5 years for 5 years, and we keep finding the next level. Okay, and that also reduces churn for the other people who, because you're also getting to know them. You may not want to work with everyone forever.
Right. Right.
The reason why this middle bubble is bigger is because that's where we want the majority of revenue and profit to come from.
Understood.
Because if the majority of your revenue and profit comes from your done for you and consulting, you're going to be pretty busy.
Yeah, the overhead in the DFY is very
Yeah.
high.
Right. So because of that, the way I address this is we just sell less of that,
Yeah.
right? And we sell way more of the other things. And by doing that, it allows us to be a lot better leveraged, be a lot more scalable. And as the business gets bigger, our life keeps getting better. For most people, as the business gets bigger, their margins get smaller, they get busier, they lose all the freedom that they had in the beginning, and they start resenting the business because it felt much better when they were much smaller. And then subconsciously, they'll try to sabotage things without knowing it to get back to that previous state where things actually felt better.
Yeah.
So we have to architect things from the beginning to for our experience in the business to constantly improve. The only way to do that is to sell the stuff that has more leverage, that's more scalable, and then use the done for you very strategically. So let's say you sell 1,000 units of your course and audit. I wouldn't call it a course, I would call it an audit. And so I would basically sell the audit and couple that with some information that allows them to become more problem aware and opportunity aware. A percentage of these people become ideal clients for your core offer, which is the done with you layer. And let's use factors of 10. So let's say you sell 100 units of this. When I say you sell 100 units, you are at any point in time, you have about 100 people. And if you use the dynamic offer model, let's say they're paying you 500 a week. There's 100 people in that level of service at any given time. And then let's say that another 10%. So out of the 100 people, you handpick the 10 people that you want to do additional done for you work for. So if let's say your course is $100, you make 100 grand a year from the courses. Let's say you're doing 100 units. Basically, you have 100 people in your done with you layer. So that's, let's say 500 a week, because this market can handle larger prices. So 500 times 52 is 26,000 times 100. So that's 2.6 million from, so that's 2.6 million units of this equals 100K. What would you say the average spend would be for someone doing done for you stuff?
10,000 a month.
10,000 a month. So let's say theoretically over time you can up those prices too, but that's 100K per month. So that's 1.2 million a year. So this becomes your stack. This would be how I would think about architecting the business.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Thank you for the visual.
And so your next steps would be to use the dynamic offer training. I just added a template for an offer doc in there. I don't know if you saw that, but there's,
I haven't looked at it yet, but I did see it.
so use that template to basically create this middle layer and this purple layer. Create that offer and first focus on selling a few units of that offer. We want to validate this layer first before we go left and right. So we want to instantiate that. We want to get that going. And once it's going, only then do we move left and right.
Okay, so then are you suggesting then instead of beginning with an entry level course material, should I begin with a more advanced
Correct.
course material?
Correct. The reason is that what you're going to be hoping for with the entry level is to upsell people into the next thing. But if you don't have that already going, there's nothing to upsell people into. And it's a much smaller dollar value. And you're going to be working 10 times harder to get a tenth of the result. So your validation phase is going to be getting the middle level instantiated, get 3 to 5 people in it, get it going, and then you go to the entry level stuff to basically leverage that to get more people into your core offer.
Yeah. Anyone that participates in the entry level educational course, many of them, if not most of them, are going to convert to done with you.
Yeah.
They'll be upsold with intent.
Does that clarify things?
Yeah, it does. And thank you. I really appreciate the time and your insight and taking this effort, making this effort with me.
Absolutely. I want to see you win. And it's like people like you who are experts in their field, who have put in decades of work mastering a craft. I want as many people like that to experience the crazy level of financial abundance that they deserve. People with good skills and good hearts. The more people like you are feeling abundant and successful and like you're actually operating at the edge of your potential, you're really using your gifts, that's what makes this world a better place. So my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that.
If you want help in implementing stuff, you can always let me know and I can tell you more about the accelerator, which is built on the exact same model that you see. And that's why I'm giving you everything you need to basically create the offer, take it to market, and stack a bunch of money. Because at 500 a week, let's say you get 5 people, that's 2,500 a week. That's 10K a month, right? If you basically are generating an additional 10K a month in pure profit, and of course, like some of those people may buy more done for you consulting, it's gonna be a completely different experience. As in when you're trying to figure stuff out and there isn't a clear offer and you're trying to create very complicated machinery, it just feels very daunting. And
Yeah, that's
especially when
overwhelming.
yeah, especially when you're watching the cash. That's why I've designed everything to be the fastest and most efficient to market and cash. Like you could use stuff from this call and the training you have to basically create the offer by the end of this week. Next week, you could do outreach to 10 of your ideal avatar, do a little bit of discovery. And the magic question is, hey, do you want any help with that? And if they say yes, then here, I'm going to send you a document. This lays out exactly step by step how we help you go from X to Y. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you're in, we'll get you registered. And so in a couple of weeks, you could have 5 people paying you 10K a month, and you don't need to build anything. All you need is the offer in a Google Doc and a checkout link for them to actually pay you.
Yeah, now that's the almost counterintuitive part of your engagement process, right? Your client engagement prospect
Yeah.
process is there's no sales call.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And
So
that's the whole idea.
uh,
The
uh, uh,
reason the
go ahead.
reason why this works, because it's important for you to understand the principle, is because I'm cutting out all the ambiguity and putting an extreme level of clarity in the offer. Because I've sold all $25,000 to $250,000 packages, and those took sales calls, and sometimes it took multiple calls,
Right.
but that stuff comes with a lot of expectations and friction. And so the people I have in the accelerator right now, they all it's like there's a values and principles alignment at a fundamental level. So they get that, oh, okay, like this is the kind of business I want. I don't want to be chained to a desk. I don't want to be doing Zoom calls till 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be stressful. So how do we build the leanest possible business that maximizes my return on life?
Yeah.
And it works really well. So it was a little bit of an awakening for me when I realized, like, oh wow, because we follow someone else's model and then we end up building the business that's right for them. Beautiful.
So what's the next?
If you want to work closer and have help as you implement this, you can jump into the accelerator. Again, the whole premise is to give you all the tools and support to build a business that can scale to at least $1 million a year in profit, working less than 20 hours a week.
Very good.